everyone, Screaming Geek Media here. I am Jerry the Geek. Today we are going to talk about the Hellraiser set on 4K, the first 4 movies called the Quartet of Torment. But before we do, if you like physical media, 4Ks, Blu-rays, DVDs, if you like home theater, movies in general, check out my other videos on my channel as I do these reviews, unboxings, collection updates, discussions. Check that stuff out, like, subscribe, and turn your bell notifications on. So today we are going to talk about the new Arrow set of Hellraiser. It's the first 4 movies collected called Quartet of Torment. Now this review will be done a little bit differently since I'm doing 4 movies. Some of the stuff I don't want to repeat. I'm trying to simplify, do a little bit things. So, I'll talk about the movies themselves, my thoughts. Then I'll talk about the 4K release, the video. And, instead of doing screenshots normally, I'll show them as I'm talking about the movie. And then we'll talk about the audio, bonus materials, packaging. Then we'll wrap it up and tell you, how much it runs and the different places you can pick it up. So the movies here, again, this is Hellraiser 1 through 4. And of course, the first movie, Hellraiser, is a freaking classic, one of my all-time favorite horror movies. Introduces the Cenobite, everything's from Clive Barker. It got the puzzle box, opening the doorway to hell. And the one character, Frank, is actually brought back to life. And, it's a crazy movie. I still love it today. Now, Hellraiser 2 is actually called Hellbound Hellraiser 2. It pretty much picks up after the first one. After the incident, Kirsty is detained and brought to a psychiatric hospital. They all think she's crazy because of the story she has. She's having visions of her father. He's stuck in hell, wanting help. And of course, the head psychiatrist, Dr. Chenard, he's obsessed with the stuff and ends up, he's got his own puzzle boxes. He wants to see that dark side. He still has the mattress from the incidents from the first one where Julia died. He brings Julia back to life. And also we have a little bit of the Pinhead origin, his human side, how he, played with the puzzle box and got, pulled into hell and became Pinhead. But this is, Hellraiser 2 is a great installment in the franchise, great sequel, just as good as the original. Now, Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth, this is where it really falls off the rails for the franchise. In my opinion, Hellraiser 3 is a bad movie overall. I had not seen it since it first came out. I remember watching it once and not really caring for it. And watching it this time, I didn't want to watch it, but I was like, I'm going to do a review. I need to watch this, get through it. Freaking, it's a piece of crap. The only saving grace is toward the end when it got the introduction of the new Cenobites, which is really cool. But other than that, the movie falls flat. On paper, it's got some decent storylines. I mean, it sounds interesting. It tries. It just failed. The execution, everything fell apart and didn't work. Now, Hellraiser 4, Bloodline, this is where it really makes up. I actually enjoyed the movie really well. It's kind of more of an origin story about the puzzle box itself. It talks about the bloodline of the family, the original toy maker that made the original box. And after the gates of hell was opened up, the family is trying to resolve. Throughout time, they're wanting to close the doorway until where it comes to they're in the future, and the descendant of the original toy maker, they build a big space station. He wants to destroy the box and close the doorway to hell forever. So again, this makes up for the crappy third installment. I love this movie, honestly. It was, so I was really surprised. I was expecting another dud because I heard so many bad things about the rest of the franchise. But this makes up. I really like it. It's worth giving it a shot. One of the downsides, that's one of the things I didn't like, was Pinhead's makeup. They smoothed it out, and it was like, did Pinhead get a facelift? I mean, it really just looked too smooth. They took the wrinkles out. It just didn't look quite right, but I just kind of looked past that. Some of the CG was shitty, but you know, still used some practical effects that looked really well. So overall, out of the 4 movies, 3 of them are worth it. The third one they can just throw out in the garbage. It's trash. Now, so this 4K release, you know, this box set from Arrow just came out last week, the 23rd of October. You know, this is the Chatterer exclusive through Arrow. There's also a Pinhead edition you can check out here. It's available. The main deal, like here, they have a cutout of the Chatterer's mouth. Pinhead has 3, maybe 4 cutouts on the box. Now, as far as the video presentations, the first one, phenomenal. I mean, they did great job restoring these. You know, these were all shot on 35mm, HDR10, Dolby Vision. The first one, phenomenal. I just could not believe how good this freaking looked. Definitely the best looking one of the set. Some great depth, the details, textures, especially some of the ugly ass wallpapers of the house, skin pores, facial stubble, rain textures. Yeah, one scene with Frank standing outside, he's in the rain. The rain textures on that really pop, and you know, see his face. Also at the beginning shots, when you start playing with a puzzle box, you know, really everything's, you know, really dark. You know, everything's lit with like some candles, and the blue lights coming through the walls pop off the screen. Very impressive. And also, when Frank's coming back to life, the whole the practical effects, that all the goo that really comes off the screen, it looks freaking awesome. Now, Hellraiser 2. Now, the video here, this I think they dropped the ball with. This happens a lot with sequels. It seems like they put a lot of effort in doing the original, making it look pristine, and they put a second one out, and it's like, we don't care that much. That's what it felt like, especially at the beginning. It almost looked crappy at the beginning. But then it kind of works out and looks better. I mean, it does. Overall, in the entire movie, it looked decent. It wasn't the greatest. A nice little highlight was at the beginning when you see, I forget what his name is, and turns into Pinhead. Elliot Spencer, I think it is. When the box, he starts playing with the box, and it jumps out of his hand, and all of a sudden it comes toward the camera, and the box is right in front of the camera, and as it starts opening up, you can see the wire mechanics that actually makes it work. And next shot, you don't see any of that. So I think I was a little, you know, back in the day, you probably couldn't see that, but now you do. The blood makeup when Julia comes back to life looks phenomenal. Especially the very brightly lit room, and all of a sudden that blood, the muscles, really pops off the screen. The gauze fabric when he wraps her, the textures of that looks phenomenal. So again, it's a decent transfer, not the best, not the worst. It just starts out really crappy, but then it does get better. Now, Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth, the presentation definitely a lot better than the third one. It's pretty solid, some good details. The depth and textures are there, so nothing really to complain about there. Nice shadow, blacks really come out, and especially during the club scene, there's a lot of dark scenes, and you know, the little things pop here and there. Then we get to Hellraiser Bloodline, the fourth one. Now, the presentation looks pretty damn good. My only complaint is it does not have the film look. It looks like it's been DNR'd, in my opinion. Some of it looks a little waxy. It looks too clean compared to the first 3. I know it's a little bit newer, but it still looks like they scrubbed it a little bit. If anybody knows anything out there, let me know in the comments below. But overall, it was a very nice presentation, nice pops of color. The black textures, and especially during the outfits, look phenomenal. Some nice deep shadows. So overall, the video presentation of all these, really good. The only one I have a complaint with was number 3. Now, as far as talking about Blu-ray comparisons with these, I don't have anything to talk about because I do have the original trilogy on Blu-ray. It's a steelbook set I got from Arrow. But unfortunately, when I bought it, I was still new to learning about the region encoding. So my sets are region B, and so my player is not region free, so I couldn't play them. So that's the only version of Blu-ray I own of the movie. So this didn't come with Blu-ray, so I have nothing to compare them with. So next up, we're going to talk about the audio tracks of these 4 movies. Now, all 4 movies have a DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 and a 2.0 track. For the most part, especially with the first 3 movies, the 5.1 track does not add anything over the 2.0. Especially with my setup, I like to think I have a really nice setup, so the stereo track sounds phenomenal. It still gives me the illusion of surrounds. So the 5.1 didn't do anything for me. And, I toggled back and forth, but for the first 3 movies, I watched most of it in 2.0. Now the 4th one being a newer movie, this is the one that the 5.1 track really amps it up. Has a lot more punch and more depth to it. So when you watch these, when you get to the 4th one, put it in 5.1. It's definitely really nice. Overall, very nice tracks in all 4 movies. It has a clear dialogue throughout. You don't know what's going on. You know what's going on. Now for the packaging, again, this is a gorgeous set. This is, you can see the nice box here. Like I said, this is the chatter. There is a pinhead one available. We'll slide this out. Then we got the slip cover here. You can pull the slip cover off. And we'll have the muscle tone. And everything's red tinted. You got everything, the bone, skeleton of chatter here. And a puzzle box on the back. Then it'll fold, the digipack folds open to show all 4 movies. And I'm not a, as a collector, this is nice, but practicality, I don't like digipack, so I will put these in individual cases. And I'm actually designing the cover artwork myself. Now I'll just keep this on a shelf. And it comes with this really nice booklet as well. A lot of material to read through here. Again, this is the chatter box. Check out the pinhead box here, which is still available. We'll get that in a minute. Now for the bonus features of this set. I'm not going to read through everything. There's a laundry list of things that they actually put into this. I just kind of summarize it. Basically, every disc has new and archival commentaries. And we got new and archival featurettes. I mean, they got brand new stuff that was filmed specifically for Arrow. And also have alternate cuts. Hellraiser 3, you got the theatrical and alternate unrated cut. But unfortunately, the unrated cut is not all 4K. The inserted scenes are actually standard definition. I didn't watch that, and plus the screen ratios are different, so I didn't want to piss with watching and see it jump back and forth, so I watched the theatrical and I was fine with that. And then for Hellraiser Bloodline, we got the theatrical, and then also we got the newly uncovered work print, which actually shows more insight on how when it was filmed, because of the original director Kevin Yeager, I think it was. There was some, I forget, for some reason he left, and the guy that came in to take his place, they really butchered up the movie, removed stuff, changed things. I'm not a die-hard enough fan to, nitpick over every little thing, plot lines in there. I enjoyed the movie as it is. Some people say it was crap compared to what should have been. But anyways, going on, also we have interviews, both brand new and archival. We got trailers, image galleries. We have draft screenplays. So this thing is freaking loaded with bonus features. And I like when they actually go through the effort of putting new stuff in it. So to wrap it up, this is a freaking awesome release from Arrow. I highly recommend picking this up. Of course, you cannot, you can get the chatter one only on eBay, and you're going to spend $175, $200 at least. They're sold out. The only one you can get is the pinhead set here. I would be surprised if these were released individually, because to a lot of people, the first 2 are the only Hellraiser movies people like. The rest of them are hit and miss. So I think, you know, like the final 3 Halloween movies, they did the same thing, sold them as a set to kind of force you to be, if you want one, you gotta get them all. So again, I'd be surprised if they sell these individually. So if you want these, you're gonna have to buy the set. Now the pinhead sets are still available, but for some reason they removed arrows. They're not available anymore. You can do a search and it's like they're not there. Apparently maybe space on their servers, they don't want to use the bandwidth. You'd think it would be there and say out of stock, but it's not even there. Diabolic, they're out of stock. Amazon UK, it's listed, but they're not in stock. You have to go through the whole where to see all buying options, and it's running about 87, 88 pounds, which translates to like $105, $110. Now, as far as last night, Orbit still has them in stock for $76.99. And Walmart, I was surprised. Walmart online does have them, and they're in stock, but they're $94.99. You know, sure it is like, you know, $20 more, but at least it gives you some options. So right now, best bet getting an Orbit, and if that sells out, you know, check out Walmart. So right now, those are your 2 options, your best options right now. So if you're a Hellraiser fan, I would recommend, even though, you know, they're not all perfect, I would recommend picking us up. They look freaking great, except for the 3rd one. Now, beat a dead horse there. We're not going to go there, but the set itself is worth it, especially even if you like the first 2. This freaking thing is awesome. It's gorgeous. Arrow knocked it out of the park. So that pretty much does it for my look at the 4K set of Hellraiser, Quartet of Torment. Check out my other videos on my channel. Like, subscribe, turn your bell notifications on, and we'll see you soon. Geek out.